Good morning, America. Good afternoon from Germany. And we will start right away because the market is already open. Sorry, I'm a little bit late today because my daughter was sitting here at my side. But we have some major news today in this last week of this year, 2022. Market is dipping right now, right at the opening. Tesla was right above $100 today before market opened. We will look at the chart right away. We just went below 10,900. We closed yesterday at around this level. And yeah, we are making lower lows right now, so pretty bearish at the moment. As you can see on a day chart, we will probably retest the lows here. The closing on November 2nd was 10,837 points and the low was 10,817 points, and the low on November 3rd was 10,748 points. So we have some room to the downside here if we want to retest these lows. You see that the market is pretty weak at the moment. One of the worst December we had for several years now. Normally December is a good month, but this month it's completely different. What do we have on the news side today? We see in about 27 minutes pending home sales. As always, we need a little bit worse than expected numbers for the markets to go up to the upside. So the forecast is minus 0.8%. The last month it was minus 4.6%. So it's slowing down a little bit, but it's still in the negative area. And what we want to see is a more negative number than minus 0.8. And then the market can go higher, but we don't want to have too bad numbers because then we have worsening of the recession. That's also not what we want to see. So therefore minus 1% would be ideal, I think. Let's see how this comes out in about half an hour. Yeah, market is going back right away. So a lot of volatility right now, as you can see here. Let's go to Tesla. I have not a chart open right now, but we will bring up a chart here for Tesla. So here we see Tesla right now at $112, and you see we made lows yesterday at $109.10, and after hours we were even lower. So let's see after hours here. Outside regular trading hours, you see yesterday after hours we closed at $106.69, and today pre-market we were at lows of $104.94. So you see Tesla is a weak stock, even weaker than the market. We went down almost every day in the last weeks, and we are almost hitting the $100 level. We were talking about this just last week before Christmas. It was crazy because my target of $125 was just hit, and we went even lower. So yesterday was a really bad day again for Tesla. And yeah, I didn't open the short put. So luckily I didn't open because we are lower now. And I said that this would be the next target, the $100 level. Let's see it again on a monthly chart. Here we see this was the $125 level, and now the low here would be $102.67 was the previous low, as you can see here in September 2020. So we were about at the lows, just $2 above. So maybe we can retest, but I think that this has already been the bottom, so we don't have to touch the $100 level. Yeah, but everything here can happen. Yeah, let's just wait for the market to find its direction, but maybe it was already the low pre-market here. And here right at the opening we had the low at $108.24, so this was lower than yesterday. Yeah, but everything can happen here. I will wait for the market to find a bottom, and then I will enter a short put trade. So I will just show you implied volatility, how it has risen in the previous days. As you can see here, when we first analyzed Tesla, we saw the previous highs of implied volatility, and it's now even higher. So now we see implied volatility levels. So this is the expectation for the movement of Tesla stock over 1 year is at 94% right now. So it's just crazy because you will get a lot more premium right now. And if we look at the option premium prices, so let's go to not Roku but Tesla. So let's see here what can we get? I normally write puts in the area of 45 days until expiration, so this would be February here. 51 days, it's just 1 week more, but I like more the normal expiries here, the monthly expiries, than the weeklies. And I would write the put at the delta 16. Like always, this is not financial advice, it's just for entertainment purposes. You trade on your own. I'm not saying that you should do this, but here you see that you will get for $85 strike on the put side, $4.50 if you sell this put. So it's a nice premium you will get here for only 51 days. And you can buy it back in 1 or 2 weeks if Tesla can stabilize and the implied volatility can come down, or the stock price will rise again. So this would be a nice trade here with an $85 strike in February expiry for about $4.50. Maybe we can see even higher levels if the housing numbers are bad, so better than expected is bad for the market, and then we will see again maybe the retest of the lows. I don't know, everything can happen here today. A little bit green today, 113 right now, and Nasdaq green again, retesting the 11,000 level right here. Small doji candle on a 1 minute chart here, maybe coming down again here to the moving averages. Let's just see on a 5 minute time frame here. So we see a big green candle, but forming here a doji again, but this candle is closing in about 3 minutes. Still some time, and then maybe retest moving averages and weave up down here. We still have time for the news, and then more volume will come in. Pending home sales here. Let's just see the previous numbers of pending home sales. And here we see last number was minus 4.6, while the forecast was minus 5%. And in October, for the month of September, the number was minus 10.2%, so a lot worse than expected, but this was good for the market, and the forecast was minus 5%. Let's see how it comes this time, because the forecast is pretty low, not as low as the previous months, but minus 0.8%, so of course we can have lower numbers, and this can bring up the market again. We just have to wait for the numbers to come out in about 20 minutes. Yeah, else we have this week nothing more important, because yeah, it's almost over this year. We have tomorrow initial jobless claims like every week, 1 hour before the market opens, but I don't expect the market to move a lot here. Crude oil inventories like every week, nothing important here. So normally these crude oil inventories would be on Wednesday, but because we had the holiday on Monday, the numbers will come out on Thursday. But this is nothing important for us to trade here. And on Friday we have no 3-star events, and that's yeah, nothing important. Chicago PMI okay, but not really important, only 2-star event, therefore nothing more important for this year. But let's have a look into the next week, so the first trading week of the new year 2023. And there we have on, where is it? Nothing important here, but here we see on Wednesday, January 4th, ISM manufacturing PMI and Joel's job opening. So Wednesday again, today in 1 week, will be again an important day with news, and ADP non-farm employment change also important on Thursday next week. And here, of course, first Friday of a month, non-farm payrolls. This will be really important and will move the markets a lot 1 hour before the market opens. This is for next week, but for this week it will be a little bit slower. Just the news today, and then it will calm down for the last 2 trading days of this year. Back to the market. What else do we have? So Nasdaq still trading sideways. We had a doji here, so maybe we'll see a smaller pullback to the moving averages, and then let's see when the news are out. Let's have a look at crude oil. In crude oil here we see that we went to the $80 level and then formed doji again. Yeah, it's still in a downtrend here. I'm not trading crude oil right now, but you see this was the last Fibonacci level we had, 76.4%. So we didn't went above it, and today we are down 0.77%. Yeah, if we go above this level and can close above it, then probably we will see a 100% reversal to the upside here at $83.36. But for now, I just think that it's still in a downtrend. We are making lower highs, lower lows, and therefore I'm not trading it right here. And for natural gas, let's move to natural gas. We need February futures, February. Still weak, and today minus 10%, so it's going down a lot. I have no open position right now, but I want to re-enter a short put because, yeah, market is pulling back fast, and I think I can make some money just going into an options position. It's not as risky as shorting natural gas, but when the market is pulling back a little bit, like today, minus 10%, we can see tomorrow plus 10%. And I can just leverage it with an options position and yeah, make some money from it without having the high risk of being on the wrong side when you trade it directionally with a short future or long future. And therefore I'm just waiting for the important levels to come, and then I want to take on a short put, so shorting a put and collecting some premium here. Yeah, let's see when the prices come down. The winter is heavy in the US, so a lot of flights had to be cancelled from, I think it was Southwest Airlines. But yeah, you see that natural gas prices are going down because also the pipelines were frozen, so it was a big issue. You had, I think, some power outages in the US. I heard of a friend in New York. He told me they had to sleep downstairs just to have a little bit of heat from the chimney, and yeah, yeah, not so funny because here in Europe, in Germany especially, we are caring a lot about energy outages and everything, but we have few, or I've had none this year, but everyone is in fear of energy outages because we delivered with natural gas from Russia, and everyone is in fear that they won't deliver natural gas anymore, and then we will be out of natural gas, and therefore everyone is looking at the storage levels. But yeah, as you can see, the prices are coming down for US natural gas and also for the European natural gas, which is called TTF. It's traded in Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and this one is also pulling down heavy. Because here you see since November we are down about 40%, more than 40%, and the same for TTF future in Amsterdam. So this fear is a little bit weird because we are in the middle of winter, of course, but the countries have prepared very well. So the storages are almost full, and we have a warm winter. We had cold winter days. I think it was 3 or 4 days in a row where a lot of natural gas was needed for heating, but now it's warmer again, so it's pretty warm for December 28th. Here today it's 10 degrees Celsius, so pretty warm, and therefore we need not a lot of natural gas. And yeah, this of course also brings the prices down as well as the high levels in the storages. This is for natural gas, so no position right now, but I will take on a new short put position when I see a bottom coming in here. And let's move on with I think sugar is also interesting because I had a short position. I already closed it again, but I had only one contract. As you can see, it pulled down heavy here after this doji. We talked about this last week. We were pulling down below this candle, and then I opened my short position in the future here at 0.2075. Yeah, I closed it today at 0.2017, so about here. And yeah, just waiting for the market to come higher again, and maybe I will re-enter it, but I have no clear position right now. I'm just waiting if we really want to pull lower to pull back, or if we want to make higher highs here because it's still on the rise, making higher lows and higher highs. Therefore I'm cautious in shorting too heavy here in sugar right now. Yeah, back to Nasdaq. Nasdaq is trading sideways but coming back a little bit as expected. Moving averages are going higher. VWAP is going higher now. We still have 15 minutes until the news come out. and therefore we can just wait for the news to come and to move the markets again. So let's prepare for the levels here. Where would I draw a Fibonacci? You see I still have the Fibonacci levels in place because yeah, this was the previous high point, and on a day chart I use this low point here from November 3rd as low point, and there you see we are already below the previous Fibonacci level here at 76.4%. So we went back to the 9 EMA but then pulled back heavy, and therefore it's still weak. Yeah, we are making lower highs, lower lows, and we are almost at the lows. We retested the lows here from December 22nd. The low point was 10,870 and today it was 10,861. So we just catched some stop losses like always, 10 points below the previous low, and then went back up. So this happens a lot of times, and you have to be prepared. Therefore, never set your stop loss right at the previous lows. Always set your stop loss a little bit more away from the previous lows or even below this low here, just to be safe that it isn't fished by other traders and you are pushed out of your position right away and then the prices are turning like it's the case at the moment. So the next support level is the previous low here from November 3rd. This is 10,748, so about 10,750. And the next low here from October 13th would be 10,597, so about 10,600. Let's draw another line. I don't think that we will reach this, but everything can happen when the numbers are really a lot better than expected. So this would be about 350 points to the downside. We never know. But yeah, for now, this low should hold. And to the upside, we will have the Fibonacci level here. You see this was the closing of yesterday. We had the closing at 10,915 points. This is a little bit below this Fibonacci level, which is at 11,117 points. And here the 9 EMA is coming down, this purple line. It's just above this Fibonacci level, and therefore this should also act as a resistance. So a strong resistance at this area at 11,100 points. And you see parabolic SAR is moving to the downside, coming down, and the same with ADX here. You see DI minus, the Turkish line is above the purple line, but no strong trend right now. So the red line here is still below the 15 because we are only moving sideways for 2 months now, and therefore no clear trend. We are still moving sideways. We have no breakout to the upside, no breakout to the downside, and therefore we have to wait for a clear breakout for getting new direction here. But yeah, the level is interesting for taking on longs at the low level here, because you have a lot of margin to the upside here for rising prices if we don't make the break to the lows. But if we break below, then you can just set your stop loss here and being stopped out. So you would maybe lose 300 points to the downside, but you have more than 1,000 points to the upside. So it's a nice and interesting risk reward ratio if you want to take on an early long trade, because here you have no confirmation yet for a turnaround. But yeah, if you just trade with a low amount of money or with a low contract size, then you could trade it even before the numbers come out. What other stocks do you want to be analyzed? Just write them in the chat and then I can have a look at them. We had, I think, Meta and Amazon last week, so let's have a look at these first. I think like Nasdaq, these stocks are weak right now, but Meta is still trading sideways, so not a lot of movement right here. As you can see, no breakout to the downside or to the upside. It's a little bit stronger than Nasdaq overall, but still trading sideways. And the same for Amazon. Let's have a look at Amazon. And I think we had Microsoft. Yeah, Amazon is looking like Nasdaq, so we are retesting the lows, and we had the lows right before Christmas, as you can see here, December 22nd. So we are lower than the lows of November. So this is the difference to Nasdaq. Nasdaq had lower lows here in November, but here we have the lows in December. So Amazon is pretty weak right now, as you can see, with lower highs and lower lows. And yeah, if we break below, then it's weak again. Same for Microsoft. Let's see Microsoft. Microsoft is pulling back from the higher levels here. We had a break below the previous lows, so it's still a weak stock, but we are trying to defend these lows. As you can see, for the previous 3 or 4 days, we are trying to hold the levels and try to close above this level, but we had some wicks down here. This is a nice doji, but we hadn't had the power to get to higher levels, and yeah, it's still weak, so it's still dangerous to take on a heavy long position. So I would wait for the new years and new data, new economic data, to move the market maybe a little bit higher to have more confirmation to an establishing uptrend again. Netflix, we had Netflix last week, so let's have a look at Netflix also. Netflix is retesting the lows here. I went out of my short put position. I closed it with about 60% profit. So happy that I went out because I saw that the market overall is weak, and therefore I wanted to just close this position a little bit earlier than normally. I wait for 80% profit, but this time I closed it at 60%. I can still re-enter it because it's still looking good as long as we are trading above these levels here. But maybe I just wait for the new year to come. I want a little bit more confirmation, more safety before I re-enter this position. Right now I had the 240 strike put short, collected $5.30 and $6.30, and right now I would get, let's see this, maybe about around the same level. Netflix, maybe we can also just go to, yeah, I would still take on January 20th because the earnings are on January 19th, so 1 day before expiry here, and I want to be out of the trade before the earnings come out. So therefore I will have to trade the expiry here, January 20th, and not the February one. But let's see, Delta 16 is about here, 240 strikes, still the same, and you would still get $5.20, so the same like my first entry I had 2 weeks ago. Still possible here. Yeah, what else do we have? Nasdaq, going back to Nasdaq here on a 5-minute time frame. Here's a pullback. This is what we waited for. So this would be interesting to enter if you want to day trade with a long trade before the news. This is an interesting level right at the moving averages and VWAP. If it holds here, still 7 minutes until the news come out. And you see on a 5-minute time frame, parabolic SAR went to the downside here. So acting as a support and trying to go to higher levels. Pulling back again. Maybe just a week to the downside. What do we see on the 1-minute chart? The same here, pulling below VWAP. But here we are again below the moving averages, and parabolic SAR is on the upside. And on a 15-minute time frame, we see that we just went to the downside with parabolic SAR, indicating an uptrend. Yeah, sometimes you just have to wait the first 15 or 30 minutes to have a clear picture of the trend. On a day chart we see a clear trend. It's to the downside. But if you want to day trade, maybe just wait the first 15, 20 or 30 minutes, especially today with the news. Half an hour after the market opened, you have to wait, just being patient, not to risk too much. Go in with small positions if you want to hold over the news, and don't risk everything. Which stocks do you want me to analyze? Just write them in the chat and then I can have a look at them. $10,940. Yeah, not a lot going on, and moving averages are holding right now, as you can see here on a 5-minute time frame. We had a wick on the downside here, but we closed above moving averages, and now we are pushing back to the upside. But the news will bring more volatility because they are more important than the previous movements we had here. So again, because of these wick downs here, don't place your stop loss too near to the moving averages or to VWAP, because you will often see these wick downs here just to catch the stop losses and then just turn around to the other way. always wait for the closing of the candle. Like here, if you trade on a 5-minute time frame, wait for the closing and you will see if the moving averages, if the support levels are holding or not. Nvidia, yes, nice stock also, Nvidia. Let's have a look at Nvidia. So on a day chart, you see that it's pretty weak. It pulled back heavy like Tesla in the previous days. So it was looking nice during November, but now we are pulling back heavy. So let's see this on a, oops, this is Nasdaq again. No, we want to have Nvidia. Let's see this on a week chart to get a better overview on a longer time frame. Here we see the high point in November last year, and from this point we made a lower high points, and you see this was also a lower high point, and here lower low points. So previous low should now be the next support level, and if we break below this one here, this is a $108, a lot of room to the downside to the previous low, 22%. Then this is pretty weak if we break below. But what you also can see is an inverse shoulder head shoulder. So I will just draw the line here. So you see this is a neckline here, and this is the first shoulder here. This is the head, and this could be the second shoulder. So if we hold at around this level where we had the first shoulder here, and if we close the week here, then this could be the second shoulder, and then we will probably pull back to the neckline to the upside here at 190, and if we break it, then there's more upside potential, because you see 1, 2, 3 times tested this level at around $190. So this could cause more upside potential if we break above $190, and I would wait for this level to break and then take on a long trade on the upside. But if we go lower than this, then it's pretty weak, so we shouldn't close below this level here of $140. If we close the week below $140, then it's a bearish sign, more downside potential, minimum to the last low at $108. And if we also break below this level, then there's more downside potential. But be aware, we are still in a downtrend since more than 1 year now. Yeah, that's for Nvidia. And 2 minutes until the news come out, so let's move back to Nasdaq and bring up the news right here that we have was in one window. I will go to a 1 minute chart so we see more movement here, and here are the news. Oops, here. So we will see the change right away when something is happening here. "90 seconds left." What's your expectation for the last trading days of this year? Will we see more red or a little bit green for the ending of the month of December? Or just trading sideways? What's your expectation? Just write it in the chat. I'm curious if you have one. So I'm open for everything. I have not a real expectation, but I can say that I really didn't expect the December to be this bearish. As you know, I was a bull for December and for a Christmas rally, but there was no Christmas rally at all. So I haven't seen this for a long time. Even in weak trading years, there was always a Christmas rally in December, or Santa Claus rally the days after Christmas, but there was no rally yesterday and it doesn't look like a rally today. So it will be interesting to see the numbers and the direction today. Yeah, you are welcome, Tunui. Happy to help you with some breakdowns of stocks and charts. Okay, some seconds left. News are out. -4%. Wow, that is nice. Worse than expected. I hope it's not too worse for the market because this is the number we see in a recession. So housing market is cooling down a lot. So yeah, it's good for the market because of less risk for inflation, but it's also a big sign of a big recession. And yeah, it's rising right now. Okay, happy to see this a little bit green. Hope we can hold these levels and go higher, because yeah, that's a lot worse than expected here. Okay, Tuner is thinking sideways, maybe slightly to the upside. Yeah. Everyone can guess the final number for Nasdaq futures here for Friday closing. Friday closing at 11 p.m. my time. So everyone is now open to give a tip. December 30th, the closing of Nasdaq futures. Where will we close? Let's make an educated guess, like it's saying in Nespresso advertisement. The educated guess would be maybe near the 9 EMA here, something like this. So for 2.5 more trading days, 11,190 maybe is a nice level. So it's not a lot of movement here, but a little bit green for the next 2 days. But we can also retest the low, so it's difficult even for 2.5 trading days, so because everything can happen here. But my guess would be to the upside. I would still stay bullish, a little bit bullish for the last 2.5 trading days. So 11,190 is my guess. Yeah, I'm not trading my guess. It's just here to have some fun. But yeah, I want to see the market being a little bit higher or just closer around the moving averages to retest them in the first week of the new trading year, and to maybe see a reversal to the upside in the first 2 trading weeks of January, because then I think market will cool down again because of more recession risk. We have already seen worsening numbers from economy, and today again from the housing market, so it's not a too good sign for the market to see so low numbers like today. Yeah, and especially with the labor market, this will be interesting mid and end of January with the labor market, because we will see a worsening of the labor market, of course. Yeah, what else do we have? 5-year note auction. Yeah, nothing really important. Okay, nothing important today anymore. So not a lot of big movements, but we managed to stay above the moving averages. So it's slightly bullish, but not really big. Even if the numbers were a lot lower than expected, the movement was just about 35 points to the upside. Not a lot of movement here. Trade the trend, correct, Rocket, that's what I will do. And the trend is to the downside, therefore I'm only long with one M&Q contract right now, not trading a lot, still waiting for the market to show me direction, just to have a small foot in the water, like we say here. Just to have a small position and a reason to watch the chart. I'm long with one M&Q contract right now. But yeah, it's not a big trade, and I entered it at 10,905 points, so no big trade, no big money right now. I want to see higher levels, minimum a break above the 9 EMA to take on more longs here, and my stop loss is right below the previous lows here, 10,740 points, and there I will be stop lossed out because previous low was here, 10,750. Don't want to see lower levels. Yeah, nothing important anymore here. Let's just look at it 1 or 2 minutes more, and then I will close out the live stream. Just back to the natural gas on a 5-minute time frame. Yeah, it's pretty weak today, as you can see, pretty weak. And just go to day chart and see the previous lows to see where we have some levels to hold. Previous highs were here at the $10.23, and the previous lows we had in this area here, as you can see here, is an interesting low point. We had several days tested here these low points at around $4.60. So we are here right now. So if we manage to close above this, this could hold for now, but we can also go lower, because here we had lower lows, as you can see, around $4. The low point was $4.08. So this can be the next target. So we have a lot more room to the downside if we want to retest the previous lows here, and the lower lows are here, and the next level to the downside is here. This one should be a really important one at around $3.50, because you can see here December last year, so before the war in Ukraine happened, we had the low point here, so this should be a strong support level here. So here I probably would take on a long trade, but yeah, for now it's looking pretty bearish, as you can see below all these previous lows here, below these support levels. It's looking pretty bearish. We always can see some fast moves to the upside, because this is natural gas. Yeah, it's not called Widowmaker for nothing. So be cautious if you want to trade it, and only trade it with a small amount. But here's a lot of room to the downside to the next support levels if this one cannot hold. Yeah, that's it, I think, for today. So I wish you a nice trading day. Hope you can make some profit in the last days of trading for this year. I don't know if I will go live in the next days, because I will just end it slowly for this year, and we will probably see us at the latest next week for the next important news. So if we have nothing major happening, I wish you a happy new year already, and we will see us next year again at the latest. Wish you a nice trading day, nice trading week, and have some fun. Goodbye.